In a world where beauty and wealth were paramount, Babe Paley stood as a paragon of elegance. Often called the most beautiful woman of the 20th century, her life was a testament to grace under pressure. This is the story of the lonely death of Babe Paley, the first of Truman Capote's Swans, and the end of an era. Born to Dr. Harvey Cushing, a renowned neurosurgeon, and Catherine Cushing, a woman of wealth and stature, Babe was raised to epitomize perfection. Her upbringing was a careful curation aimed at securing a prosperous marriage, a path her sisters Betsy and Minnie also followed, one marrying the son of a president, the other an Astor. Babe, who was very intelligent and an editor at Vogue, could have done many things, but she was taught that neither love nor children matter. What matters is marrying rich. Her mother raised her to play the role of a wife. She was bred to play a role, and that role was the wife of Bill Paley, and she played it well, but there was little love between them. Bill was an endless philanderer and narcissist, and Babe had divorced her first husband and married him simply because of his wealth, even though she was considered the most beautiful woman in the world. To Bill, she was just another object to possess. Her life was a magnificent performance. From the moment she woke up in the morning, hours before Bill to put on her makeup, and put in her false teeth that she had been forced to wear since a severe car accident in 1934. She was on stage, she planned every action, noting it in her book, and she could forgive herself no imperfections, nor could Bill. She was flawlessly polite, with an imperious manner, always trying to hold herself, aware of all eyes on her. As Truman remarked, Babe only had one flaw. She was perfect, otherwise she was perfect. But behind the flawless public facade, she was insecure and lonely. She twice tried to kill herself, with Truman saving her life. She felt she had no one to confide in but Truman, and she would tell him tales of Bill's affairs, and he in turn would tell them to everyone else. When she thought about leaving Bill, Truman spoke as Babe's own mother would have. No, you are perfect for him. It is as if he chose you out of central casting. Think of it as a job, the wife of Bill Paley, and it is the best job in the world. In addition to advising her to stay in a loveless marriage and spreading her stories all over town, Truman, her best friend, also tried to arrange additional lovers for Bill, even trying to procure the recently divorced Carol Saroyan for him. "But isn't he married?" she asked. "Yes, honey." "But he will certainly provide for you," he responded. The release of Truman's La Côte Basque 1965 was a betrayal that cut deep. As the Slim Keith character, Lady Ina Coolberth, tells the story of the governor's wife and the bloody sheets, Babe must have known it was about her, as she had only divulged that information to Truman. In addition, the fact that the Slim Keith character in the story says she had an affair with Bill must have made Babe wonder if she had any friends at all. After reading the chapters, Babe called Slim and asked, "Have you read Truman's piece in Esquire? Who do you think it is?" Slim knew that the businessman was Bill, but didn't have the heart to tell Babe and remained silent. Babe had flown around the world with Truman, introduced him to rarefied circles, given him gifts, and now, a private woman, she felt deeply betrayed. She had always been a private woman and shared her real pain with no one but Truman, and now, suffering from cancer, her private world was exposed for the world to see. The story left a stain on Babe's life, larger than the one on the marital bed from La Côte Basque. Had Truman ever cared for her? Had anyone? Truman tried calling her, but for the first time in their friendship, he couldn't get through to her. Finally, he reached Bill. Truman asked, "Have you read my Esquire piece?" Bill replied, "I started, Truman, but I fell asleep. Then a terrible thing happened. The magazine was thrown away." Truman, not taking the hint, said, "I'll send you another copy." To which Bill answered, "Don't bother, Truman. I am preoccupied. My wife is very ill." Babe was in fact dying of cancer, a slow and excruciating death. She was thinner than ever, but still got up every day to apply makeup, heavier and heavier, to cover up the darkness that began to cover her. A third of her right lung had been removed, but the cancer had come back, and in May 1975, surgeons had removed the rest of her lung. For most of their marriage, Bill had treated Babe like an object. He was dismissive of her, never being around. But in the last months of her life, he was there, trying to play the loving husband. He tried to show her how much he cared. but Babe wanted none of him. And in her final days, she pushed him away, even insulting him in front of others, and faced her death without the two most important men in her life, Bill and Truman. In her final days, Babe remained true to her character and meticulously planned her own funeral, deciding on everything from the seating arrangements, the guest list, and the food. She passed away on July 6, 1978, leaving behind a legacy of style and elegance. Her husband, William, was buried beside her in 1990. Capote, estranged and regretful, was not invited. In the end, Babe stayed true to the role that was assigned to her long ago by her mother and lived the life of the dutiful wife. Her life was layered by triumphs, tragedies, and betrayals, but through it all, she maintained her poise and discretion. Her passing not only marked the end of her journey, but the end of an era. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps.